Alright, well, hello guys, and I guess welcome to the otome game Lost Alice, Destined Lovers in Wonderland. So I debated about recording a phone game because I don't know, I don't usually get the best audio while I'm talking, but I decided why not try this out. I do like otome games. I usually stick with Voltage, so this is my first Shall We Date game. So, I did already start the app, so I already got a little bit done, but I'll go through the prologue again for you guys. There we go. Let's see. I think I can dress her. Maybe. I have no idea. Read the story. Alright. Prologue. I felt a restlessness in my heart. The burning sensation was forcing me to hurry. Without knowing where to go, I just kept walking, driving to continue moving forward. Where I reached out was my eyes opened wide in astonishment. Then I finally realized that I had lost consciousness. Beyond my reach, I found the unfamiliar ceiling above me. It's question mark, question mark, question mark. I was too distorted to call it an ordinary room. I had never seen such a weird place before. Where am I? There was irritation in those words. It wasn't because I was lying down on the cold, hard floor. Indescribable emotions that were neither anger nor despair twisted my heart. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I feel dizzy. No, it's more like pain. Having exhaled to chase away the sickening feeling, I sat up. What a strange cave. There was a clock embedded in the twisted wall and cards sprouting from the slanted floor. Was it a mysterious place with no telling of night or day? What was I doing here again? Wait, who am I? You're Alice. What? Alice. Okay. A sudden voice struck me. I reflexively looked back, found a man standing right before me. Good morning, Alice. Lingering drowsiness I may have had instantly swept away. This man of singular beauty had such an amazing, deep, crimson hair and eyes. I was completely lost in admiration, but calmly responded to him. I'm not Alice, I confidently replied. My name wasn't Alice. I'm Mitchie. Mitchie Hannah. You got the photo prologue. You got the photo prologue. Alright. No story ticket required. Okay, that's nice. After I dug into my memories and gave him my name, he stared back at me with an obvious look of curiosity in his eyes. There was a glow of amusement and mischief in his rose-colored eyes. Nice to meet you, Alice. I'm Joker. Joker Braze. Joker Braze. Nice to meet you too, Mr. Braze. I sarcastically greeted this man, who still called me by the wrong name. However, he did not seem to care in the least. His lips were still curled upward from ear to ear. So, Alice, what were you so worried about? You forgot who you were, huh? Indeed. Do you know something? You've been talking like you do. Nothing important. I just saw you come out of a giant mirror. You've been sleeping here ever since. A giant mirror? I was puzzled for a moment. This giant mirror sounded familiar. Oh yeah, I did go through it, and I chose to do so with my own will. Not fully convinced, I decided to deal with the situation. Where's the mirror? All I could see were mysterious walls. There was no mirror in sight. I guess it's gone. He took a quick glance, said as if it were of no concern to him. I guessed it wasn't his problem. I can recall nothing. All I can remember is my name and the mirror I went through. What are you going to do, Alice? Joker creased his eyes and gave me a mischievous smile. In this situation, any other dainty, sensitive girl would have tear-stained face with loneliness and confusion, right? I don't mind confronting you. Comforting. Sorry. Well, it's the thought that counts. Because I'm not that weak. Rather, I couldn't let myself get lost and confused because of this odd predicament. So, Joker, was it? Let me excuse myself. I need to get going. Where to? You don't remember anything. Yes, that's why I've got to go. If I don't have any memories, I must go searching for the identity, desire, and hope. I wanted to find me. Alice, you're one tough. I told you my name is not Alice. You're mixing me up with someone else. I headed toward the light, trying to find myself. And here we go. Lost Woods. At the end of the cave, the dense forest spread as far as my eyes could see. A sign was hanging from the branch of an oddly growing tree, giving me doubtful direction. What is more, the forest was clothed in a light fog, making it almost impossible to see what was ahead. Something didn't seem right about this place either. It felt like this place shouldn't be of this world. It was a curious sensation, as it were to wander into the land of dreams. My Alice. I heard a strange man calling out to me from behind. There was an oddly sweet tone in his voice, as if he was whispering to my ear. That was how he talked. Furthermore, another man besides Joker who called me Alice appeared. It was obvious there was a peculiar about this person as well. Excuse me, but my name... I tried turning around to give him a piece of my mind. Suddenly, the man tightly wrapped his arms around me from behind. My Alice, I missed you so much. His arms were surprisingly gentle and sweet. It didn't seem he was planning to do anything malicious to me. Rather, it felt like he was overflowing with love and care. But... what do you think you're doing? And who are you? It was an absolute nonsense to experience sudden embrace by a man whom I've never met before. Despite of my effort to free myself, he did not care in the slightest. My dearest Alice, I'm Kyle. Kyle Knock, the Cheshire Cat. Hello, Kyle. Now, could you get your hands off me? I'm sorry, but I'm not your Alice. How could I expect to be mistaken for someone by two strangers in such a short time? There must be someone named Alice who looked just like me around here. Don't worry, I am not mistaking you for someone else. You are the one, my Alice. Having whispered with gentle sweetness voice, I was starting to feel a little embarrassed. Okay, but just let me go, Kyle. Struggled to break free, however, his arms did not even budge. Why? Because I've been waiting for you for so long. And now we're finally together. Can't I at least hug you a little longer? That has nothing to do with me. I don't feel comfortable. So please let me go. I tried forcing my way out of his arms with all my might. Sigh. It's hard to believe that a girl as cute as you can be such a tomboy. Said in an amusing tone, his arms slightly loosened as he let out a sigh. Alright, got more. My Alice, you're doing great. Oh, I'm in love with the cat ears. And I love how they make the girl a tomboy. I like that. Then I took the chance to release myself and turned around to face the stranger. The young man had cat ears on his head, but this unique look didn't frighten me at all. You? I let out a deep breath and gave him a cold stare. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I am not this Alice you've been waiting for, but if you don't want her to hate you, then you need to learn how to treat girls. Really funny, my Alice. I am not your Alice. How many times? I don't feel the need of learning how to treat women, because I am not after other women. The only person I desire is you, Alice. I could see what he meant. If he were after particular Alice, it would be pointless to generalize his behavior. She might like his uniqueness, even though many people wouldn't appreciate. I guess that's the way he is. This man who called himself Kyle added a few more things into the discussion. I've been waiting for you longer than anybody else. I know that for a fact. So, Alice, come, leap into my arms. I'll make sure you won't regret it. I think I'll pass. I turned down his passionate invitation. There was nothing exciting being seduced by a guy call you with another woman's name. But Kyle didn't seem to be disappointed, but snickered as if he were amused in a way. Nothing you do makes sense to me. And those cat ears of his, they're probably attached to his head. As I calmly observed him, a tail with a ribbon was swaying slowly. I guess I shouldn't call him a strange person, but more of a strange cat. Excuse me, Kyle, I must go. Alice, wait. How many times do I have to tell you? Do you really have somewhere you can go? I was at a loss for words. I have neither a destination nor memories. His words bewildered me, and he looked at me as if he saw through my mind. But there was no time to stand around. I had to keep moving forward. I mustered up the nerve and began speaking my mind. I need to go find myself. Where are you going? Oh, my house. I'm going home. Once I got home, I'd figure out who I am. Your house, eh? Kyle slowly repeated what I said, and his eyes creased in a meaningful manner. Do you really have a place you can call home, Alice? What do you know about me? His expression could be considered friendly, but there was a distant and coldness in his eyes, as if they were made from amethyst, beautiful with a somewhat mysterious glow. Kyle, if you know where I live, then I beg you, please tell me. Don't waste your time. A new voice cut me off as I began to ask Kyle for his help. We're leaving. Huh? What? As I stood there in a daze, the newcomer grabbed me by the arm and began to take me somewhere. Kyle did nothing but just grinned as he watched us walk away. Oh. I glanced over at the man, noticed how virile he was in appearance. He had beautiful jet-black hair under his silk hat. He may have taken me away all of a sudden, but was walking at my pace. It seemed having gentlemanly behavior was a part of his nature. However... Where are we going? Are you taking me to my house? No. Then who are you? Don't you think your approach was a little too aggressive? As I looked at my arm, the young man appeared to be at a loss for words. He probably realized that his action wasn't polite. I guessed he was more sense than Kyle. He spelled it wrong. There might be a good reason for such a well-mannered man to do something like this. It was right when he was about to tell me his name. More photos. Almost reached the end of the prologue. I felt like his expression clouded over in a way. I am Luke Esteem. I am the header. Luke Esteem? I'm gonna go with Esteem. You sell hats? There was something odd about him telling me his occupation right after his name. Do you know me? Perhaps he wasn't much of a talker. After a long walk, we finally made our way out of the mysterious forest. Tea party. Okay. An adorable tea party was taking place. The blooming blue roses in the hedges around us were the ones Luke had, but everything felt crooked. Furthermore, the sweets and plates on the table were all over the place. Luke stopped by the table and let go of my arm before breaking the silence. You shouldn't listen to the Cheshire Cat. He will lead you astray. The Cheshire Cat? Are you talking about Kyle? He was the only person that made sense based on what I knew. So, Luke took me away forcibly because of Kyle? His silence let me know that my assumption was correct. I only remember my name, and the mirror I went through with my will. So Luke, do you know anything? If he wasn't going to talk, then I would. He might lend an ear to what I had to say, even though there was a possibility of another silence. You know, I woke up in a strange cave. Everyone is calling me Alice here. I don't know who in the world they could be confusing me with. They aren't confusing you with anyone, he suddenly said with certainty, causing my eyes to waver in bewilderment. What do you mean? Everyone is calling you Alice because that's what you decided to be. What? I couldn't even ask him why. I stood motionless at the mysterious voice whispered in my mind that his words were the undeniable truth. The voice continued. Whose Alice will you become? Okay, looks like I got a few things. Who's... Okay, so do I get to choose a guy now? Okay. Do I want to go with the poster boy first, or... I don't know. I really want to go with Kyle. Yeah, I'm going to choose him first. Yes. Let's start a new romance now. Kyle Knock, Chapter 1. Who are you? Are you talking to me? Alice. No, that's not my name. Can you hear me? Alice. You can't be talking to me. Come on, wake up, Alice. I keep telling you. I'm not Alice. I shouted out and woke up. I must have fallen asleep against a tree trunk. I looked to the side and found a mushroom growing. I was in the midst of a dense forest. Trees with branches growing every which way created a dark and somber atmosphere. There were signs everywhere indicating different directions that I was almost bound to get lost. If I recall, this was the place where I met the young man who called himself the Cheshire Cat. Good morning, Alice. A grinning Cheshire Cat, Kyle, was staring right at me. I couldn't help but scowl when I saw him smiling, as if he hadn't a care despite my confusion. How did I get here? You don't remember anything? His question seemed oddly laced with amusement, so I searched my memory as I framed my reply. I remember hearing a strange voice echo inside my head, right before losing consciousness. A moment ago, I was at a tea party, and now I find myself back in the forest. By the time I gave him my answer, my eyes had closed unwittingly. What if I had lost my memory again? You've unlocked Honey Slot. Honey Slot. First play for free. Get avatar items and okay. Let's see, free story ticket and oh yeah, so I did buy some story tickets so that I could just keep going whenever I wanted to. So let's do this. I couldn't remember anything about myself besides my name. I started to worry about the physical and emotional state I was in. There's nothing to worry about, Alice. Kyle's amethyst-colored eyes creased as he smiled softly. For some reason, the sparkle in his eyes seemed so mysterious. Kyle, do you even know what's bothering me? I released a weary sigh, but Kyle smiled and faltered. With a confident air, he whispered, "You had a sudden lapse in memory, and now you're afraid your memory is gone again. Am I right? You're afraid that you might be walking around aimlessly without knowing nothing, as if sleepwalking." His assessment was so spot on, I was momentarily dumbfounded. Kyle smiled wildly when he saw I was speechless. His lips curved up like a crescent moon. His gentle smile affected an air of concern, but the mysterious sparkle never left his eyes. What a spiteful grin. There was no real reason. I was just the way I felt. I repeat, you have nothing to worry about. At least, I don't think much time has elapsed since you lost consciousness during the tea party. My eyes haven't been glued to the clock, but I suspect no more than 5 minutes have passed. So, all is well. You haven't lost your memory. Don't worry, my dear Alice. I'm not yours. In any case, you certainly remember all that transpired before you lost consciousness. Kyle wrapped up the conversation with a wary smile after my sudden outburst. I still have no recollection of anything prior to waking up in that strange cave. Premium note coming up. Huh. Alright. Challenge at checkpoint. What is this? Catch 'em all. Sure. Too bad. Let's see. Here we go. Can I choose a color? Guess that's later. And that's all I have. Oh, he has nothing, so I guess. Oh, don't you hate that when you think you're gonna sneeze, but you're not? Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna try this again. story. Oh, darn it, I missed the book. So I have to have him on. He's not wearing anything. But it's not like I keep forgetting things, which is somewhat of a relief. I must somehow find a way to remember what happened before I woke up in that cave. The thought of trying to retrieve the memory of an infinite number of things, imagining being in a hopeless situation, was daunting. But why was I sleeping in a place like this? Do you know? Of course. Kaya smiled. I had a bad feeling about it all. At the very least, your feet didn't come on their own while you were unconscious. Kaya winked in a teasing manner and provided a simple answer to my question. I lured you here, using magic. I glared at Kaya with narrowed eyes. Will you stop teasing me simply because I can't remember anything? I was perfectly serious, but all he did was laugh jovially, which was annoying. I find it hard to believe that he lured me here with magic. Regardless of my memory loss, I know there's no way that can possibly be. Really? Even though... okay. Alright. Now that I think of it, that thought gave me a twig of doubt, but I found myself questioning Kyle. How did you know I had amnesia? Huh? You're the one who mentioned it, right? No, I didn't. Kyle tried to feign ignorance, but my expression didn't falter as I stood my ground. Alright. Okay. The first time we met, and every time since then, I mentioned no such thing. Yet, you seem to know all about my situation. Yes, his tone of voice had always grated on me. Oh, my house. I'm going home. Your house, eh? Kyle slowly repeated what I said and narrowed his eyes meaningfully. Do you really have a place to call home, Alice? I stared at Kyle intently, trying to uncover what he was hiding. He returned my stare with a satisfied smile. I have to hand it to you, Alice. I have nothing against smart women. Stop teasing me and answer the question, Kyle. When I intensified my glare and pressed him further, Kyle just shrugged his shoulders and smiled wearily. You said you wanted to go home, didn't you? You asked me to lead the way. If you can't even remember your own home, it's the same as saying you've lost your memory. You have a point. I reluctantly acknowledged his observation. See, there's nothing strange about me knowing you have amnesia, is there? He might be right, but warning bells were ringing inside me. Something is holding me back from simply accepting his words at face value. If that's the case, I turned my back to him and started walking off without a word. Alice, where are you going? I'm going someplace where I don't have to face you. I replied curtly to the question thrown at me from behind. If no one would show me the way home, I had no choice but to find it myself. Of course, I had no idea what I was doing, but I forged ahead without looking back. As I kept walking, I cleared the gloomy forest and came out to a hill. I was greeted by a beautiful sight in stark contrast to the dense forest. When I looked up, the sky glowed with a mysterious light, which was a mix between blue and purple. For some reason, Kyle was still standing beside me. He kept his smile as he walked alongside me, studying my profile. Will you stop following me? Why? Just because. Besides, I don't trust you. I'm offended. Kyle seemed unfazed by my brutal honesty. In fact, his eyes creased in amusement. What is with this guy? My repeated rebukes seemed to have no effect, and I found myself growing irritated. It was no use. I stopped in my tracks, heaved a sigh, and glared at him. Then why do you insist on following me, Kyle? I don't want to be parted from you. He smiled brightly, either in amusement or happiness. I've been waiting for you for so long. I looked pointedly at Kyle and exhaled slowly. Jesus. Waiting by you, who do you mean? Kyle looked at me wonderingly as unconsciously I furrowed my brows. By you, I mean you, of course. Kyle pointed at me without hesitation. But the look I gave him was full of suspicion. That's not true, is it? You've been waiting for Alice. Make no mistake, I am Mitchie. I won't be your Alice. I made myself perfectly clear. A flicker of surprise flashed in Kyle's amethyst-colored eyes, but the wide-eyed look of surprise lasted only a brief moment. His lips soon curved into a smile, and he held a look of satisfaction. That's the same expression he had when he said he didn't dislike smart women. All right. I don't have time to stand here and argue with you. I have to find my way home. Why don't you look for your Alice, Kyle? To be honest, I didn't understand him. Or rather, I didn't trust him. At first, I just thought he had mistaken me for someone else, but no matter how many times I denied it, he seemed convinced that I was Alice. Does Kyle know something that I've forgotten? Does he know and he's simply not telling me? The more I thought about it, the more suspicious I became. That's right, Alice. He no doubt sensed my mistrust, but Kyle displayed not a hint of guilt. He looked straight at me, undaunted, and smiled guilelessly. If you want to go home, I'll help you. Huh? Unfortunately, I don't know the way, but I'll be happy to stay with you and help you until you find it. I glared reproachfully at Kyle while he stood there smiling as if he had come up with a brilliant idea. I think I'll pass. I don't need you to stay with me. Are you sure about that? Suddenly, Kyle's voice was low and mocking. You've lost your memory, so you don't know what is where in this wonderland. You don't have a soul to rely on. And even if you were to get lucky and stumble upon your own house, you might not even recognize it as yours. That's... I found myself at a loss for words. Kyle's words made me realize for the first time that this is Wonderland. I might be out of my mind to think that I could find my way home on my own. While his words and the tone were mocking, Kyle's smile remained gently as he continued. I'll guide you through Wonderland. It is my duty as the Cheshire Cat. So there's no reason for you to refuse. You can depend on me. I hate to admit it, but Kyle is one step ahead of me. I sensed that as I regarded his unfaltering smile. Indeed, I needed a guide. And if I took him up on his offer, I had a greater chance of finding my way home. On the other hand, if I refused it, I would likely have a harder time. His suggestion was beneficial for me. The only reason I could think to turn him down his offer was my instinct was telling me he was not trustworthy. All right, show me the way, Kyle. Of course, Alice. However, Kyle started to reach out his hand and embrace me in mid-sentence. I immediately put some distance between us and made a single request if he were to act as my guide. I'd like you to call me Mitchie. Huh? When I voiced my request, I saw the first flicker of uncertainty cross his features. That single look of vulnerability gave me a small sense of relief. I'm not Alice, I'm Mitchie. If you're not going to call me by my real name, I'll have to refuse your proposal. Kyle's mysterious eyes widened as if he wanted to say something, but his raised eyebrows eventually came down and he nodded with a resigned smile. All right, my Alice is you, Mitchie. As I keep reminding you, I'm not Alice, nor am I yours, Kyle. Kyle only chuckled while I released a pent-up sigh. You really are stubborn. I wish you would just trust me with your body and soul. That's not going to happen. Obviously, I raised my voice in objection. Kyle smiled mockingly as he raised his index finger to my parted lips. That's what I mean by stubborn. There's no need to be embarrassed, Mitchie. The sensation of his cold fingertip almost had me blushing uncontrollably. I was upset at myself for being so easily flustered. I quickly turned away from his unrelenting gaze, though I felt I had made significant progress. I didn't think I could bear to continue being called by a stranger's name. If Kyle could call me Mitchie, it would make it easier to get along with him. At least, that's what I thought. It had to be better than the current situation. Probably. I tried to shake off the sense of dread that threatened to overcome me. After promising to guide me through Wonderland, the first place Kyle took me was... It was a lovely town which filled with a sense of liveliness. The fact that there were so many people actually worked to my advantage. Someone who knew me before I lost my memory might happen to pass by. Then I could find out where I lived. That was what I thought. What's wrong, Mitchie? I had to give Kyle credit. I chose to ignore the fact that he started to say Alice and focused on answering his question instead. Maybe it's because I've lost my memory, but something doesn't seem right. What is it? For example, are animals supposed to walk on two legs? Among the people walking through the town were people like Kyle, who had animal ears and tails. Others were normal people like me. Normal, that's right. Yes, this is normal. At least I think it is. And there were many animals walking on two legs. No one seemed to be bothered by the difference in species, and everyone appeared to speak the same language. I thought animals and humans spoke different languages. I crossed my arms and groaned at the sense of incongruity warring again inside of me. Seeing my knee deep in thought, Kaya smiled softly. You can take all the time you need to remember, Mitchie. Could it be that my senses are off? I was reminded of the fact that I had amnesia, which left me dejected. I've really forgotten everything, haven't I? When I lowered my head in resignation, oh, hey, hey. Required sugar points. Let's see. I think I can continue now. And continue. Cleared. This is fun. I thought I heard the high-strung voices of children when two nearly identical faces appeared before me. One was a girl who wore her pink-colored hair in matching pigtails. The other was a boy who wore his sky-blue hair in a short ponytail. Though there were noticeable differences, including their gender, they both shared the same turquoise-colored eyes, and their shared taste in clothing was obvious. Hey, Kyle, she wouldn't happen to be... No, there's no doubt about it, she's Alice, isn't she? Kyle smiled in response to the question, but he remained silent. Ah, I immediately understood the reason behind Kyle's response. If he were to answer yes to that question, it would mean he would be calling me Alice. That's why he's not saying anything. Is this Kyle's way of keeping his promise to me? They either took Kyle's silence as tacit agreement or were extremely presumptuous. The boy and girl jumped up and down in glee. Ag, I can't believe it. Alice is finally here. Hey, Alice, let's shake hands first. Then we can have your autograph. Wait a minute, both of you. I needed them to settle down first, or I wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise. I got them to quiet down before I asked my question. Who are you? I'm Tweedledee. You can call me Dee, Alice. I'm Tweedledum. Dee and I are twins. I'm the oldest. I didn't doubt that they were twins. What worried me was their behavior. So I'm Alice. Of course you are. They responded immediately with absolutely no hesitation. I knew you had come, Alice, just by looking at you. I'm so happy to meet you. I wanted to meet you for so long. I wanted to know what you're like. I've really been looking forward to it. Are these two just like Kyle? Their response worried me. Maybe if I had indeed forgotten everything and I really was Alice. Their screams of delight started to draw attention of other townspeople, and soon there was a commotion. Alice! It's Alice! Alice is with the Cheshire Cat! Alice, you finally came! While some people hadn't noticed until now, others had apparently been holding back. Now that the twins were carrying on, any reluctance seemed to have evaporated. I was surrounded by the townspeople in no time. Everyone welcomed me as Alice. If I truly believed I was Alice, I would have been overjoyed, but... Everyone, calm down! Stop pushing! Everyone crowded around me, jostling from every direction. I couldn't even see straight. If something happened and we were toppled over like dominoes, there would have been nothing to stop us. I called out in an effort to get them to calm down, but nobody seemed to hear me. Welcome, Alice. Shake my hand. Please shake my hand. I need air. Just when I feared I would fall down. Huh? Kyle's strong arm snaked around my waist and drew me closer to him. Kyle. He protected me from the crush of people. Despite being flustered, I instinctively looked up at him. His eyes were not on me, but on the townspeople gathered around us. I truly understand your enthusiasm over meeting her, but she has lots of issues she's dealing with and hasn't fully adapted to being in Wonderland. So I would appreciate it if you could give her a bit more time and space. Aw, Kyle, that's not fair. Dee couldn't hide her disappointment and spoke with a pout. You're just trying to keep her all to yourself, aren't you? Dom's next words showed that he was in agreement. You're going to keep her to yourself, Kyle? We want to talk to Alice too. Kyle remained perfectly calm in spite of disappointment mirrored in the faces of the twins and the townspeople. Kyle forged on without showing any signs of being affected. Like I said, I understand how you feel. I've been waiting to meet her for a long time too. But I also don't want her to overexert herself. Besides, Kyle narrowed his eyes mysteriously and said in a melodious voice, I'm the Cheshire Cat. It is my duty to guide her through Wonderland, and I can't relinquish that, for any reason. Isn't that right? The tone of his voice brooked no argument. My heart leapt when he stressed out the words, for any reason. Most likely because Kyle was always smiling, rarely revealing his true feelings. Yet it felt like he was uncharacteristically exposing his true self now. Okay. If that's the case, we have no choice. Right, we're not the Cheshire Cat. While we're really disappointed, we'll leave you to act as her guide. Dum and Dee looked thoroughly dejected, but they calmly backed down. And when the twins gave up without a fight, the other townspeople followed suit. Kyle managed to extract me from the crowd of people who had finally started to disperse, and we quickly left. We kept on walking until we reached a place less populated, then he finally stopped. Finally, we should be safe from the crowds now. I'm sure it was a surprise, but are you all right? His expression was gentle as he asked me, and I... Yes. Thank you, Kyle. When I voiced my appreciation, Kyle blinked in confusion. Realizing he had no idea what I meant, I blushed. I acted like nothing had happened, trying to hide what I was flustered. You came to my rescue just now. I was about to be trampled by everyone. So, thank you. Kyle? Kyle remained silent for a full 10 seconds before he finally broke out in a smile. His expression was different from any other smiles he had directed at me. It was simply full of happiness. Thank you too, Mitchie. Shouldn't you be saying, you're welcome? No, I think thank you is appropriate. He shook his head at my question, and his smile widened in satisfaction. I never imagined you would thank me. It's nothing to be that happy about, is it? Either he thought I was the kind of person who didn't say thank you, or that's how much significance Alice held for him. By the way, how long do you intend on keeping your arm around my waist? I tried bluntly pointing this out to him, but Kyle just smiled. He made no attempt to remove his arm from me. I smiled in return and forcefully removed his arm. And words wouldn't do, I would have to show him through my actions. You seem to be fairly adept at handling women. I'll leave that to your imagination. Kyle shrugged his shoulders and smiled wearily. Then suddenly, his face turned serious. But I will say this. I'm not interested in anyone else besides you. The only one I want to touch, to have smile at me, is you. The fact that those words flowed out so smoothly was the biggest reason I didn't trust him. Still, his voice sounded so sincere. I couldn't find it in me to give him a hard time about it. All right. Even when an attractive girl walked by, Kyle's eyes never strayed. He was completely focused on me. There might even be some truth to his claim that he was not interested in anyone else. So am I special because I'm Alice? I decided to forgo beating around the bush and ask him straight out. Kyle just laughed and shrugged his shoulders. He wouldn't answer me either way. Of course, his response didn't satisfy me, so I started to press him further. Hey, Alice. I rolled around at the voice calling me. Standing there was a tall young man with eyes and hair the color of sunshine. On his head were furry ears, just like Kyle's. The only difference was that Kyle's ears were those of a cat, while the other man's were those of a rabbit. It's true that I'm being called Alice, but I would prefer to be called Mitchie. After I made my point clear, he studied me intently. He didn't ask me to elaborate, but his eyes looked amused. I'm Sid Rex, the March Hare. Sid Rex. The March Hare. Ah, yes, that explains the rabbit ears. I'd appreciate if you didn't mention my ears. Anyway, are you spending your time with the Cheshire Cat? I suppose you could say that. Why do you ask? The March Hare, Sid, smiled meaningfully, as if in amusement. I wonder what the Hatter will have to say about this. Huh? My eyes widened at his unexpected words. Hi, I'm Tweedledee. I'm Tweedledum. We're so honored to have been called upon to introduce the next chapter. We're going to do our best. Yes, our very best. By the way, Dee, isn't it wonderful to be able to meet Alice just now? Yes, very. Alice is so special to us. It looks like the Cheshire Cat and Alice are sticking together for now. I wonder what sort of story awaits. I don't want you thinking about any other guy. Kyle's hands were insistent as he forced my chin upward, so that he was the only thing reflected in my eyes. You haven't forgotten who you're with right now, have you? Let go of me, Kyle. No. Well, if they're going to stay together, maybe they'll spend the night at his house? Wow, how exciting. I can't find to wait out what happens. Let's hurry up and turn the page. Okay, so... Alright, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. So yeah, I had to come back to this because for some reason it stopped recording at about 40 minutes. So yeah, that was my second time going through that. But yeah, so that is chapter 1, guys. I hope you enjoyed it because I did. I am looking forward to chapter 2, although I am a little bit weary as he did seemed a little forceful, and I hope this doesn't become Stockholm Syndrome. Really hope it doesn't become like that. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed this and I will continue this. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.